Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, episode number 236. This I'm discussing episode 236 of the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime, Cut and Run. Pick up where the left off last week. We have like three different things going on here. Yeah, three different plot threads. One of them actually two of them get basically started from one plot thread that was split up into two different things here. Let's start with one. Basically, it's a primary thing you see some in the promotion stuff of this episode. We have Boruto, Kawanaki, and Butan. She's the one who's daughter of Raga from the original Naruto series, one of the seven swordsmen. Yeah, they're told by Kagura to infiltrate the fortress to just figure out what the heck the thing is. So they basically go on a not a raft per se, basically inflatable rowboat. Well, they row the way there. Of course, Kawanaki is still left over his motion, so he can't row. And of course, Boruto tells her, despite the fact they don't trust each other, but they basically have to work together for the sake of the mission. And Butan agrees with his sentiment that they both have no choice in the matter. Despite the fact they don't trust each other, they don't like each other very much, but let's do it for the sake of the mission. And of course, after arguing for Kawanaki tells him to come, despite the fact he's actually sick. So we have Boruto come with the ingenious idea to have Kawanaki launch him, basically, where he just throws him up in the air. He does a gale palm on Kawanaki with his big hand, launches right out, and then, of course, he ties it up with the kunai and chain, throws it back, and Butan catches it. It's a good thing she's able to catch it, probably because she's had to build some muscle in her arms, because she has to carry those two swords. Because carrying swords like that probably requires some muscle. Though she doesn't look like she puts on some muscle. She may have put on some muscle when it's in prison. And of course, they enter the place. And she also does something in the episode. I think a lot of people may have been complaining about this, so I haven't heard any complaints about it. Where they see the number 2 guy underneath, like second most dangerous person behind the leader, and the first son. Yeah, you see him take out a newbie who looks like he's carrying around Wolverine's claws. Yeah, for some reason he's got claws. Do not know why this is. I'm sure the animators probably were a big fan. I'm sure the guy who animated this scene probably was a big fan of Wolverine. So they have a character have claws, exactly like Wolverine's, out of his hands, and have him get killed by the leader of the clan, this group, by having his neck broken. With one hand. Yes, I've seen this. It's a good thing they don't show the graphic detail of this, because in silhouette, which, I gotta admit, that's actually not a bad idea to do, because basically showing that is disgusting. So they're on a platform, and they see this, and they go walking off, and then they take out somebody, and then look like the Kawanaki is about to fall off because of motion sickness. And then Butan does something completely unexpected. She cures Kawanaki of his motion sickness. Yes. My guess is there was a writer who probably didn't like this. So he probably wrote in the episode, get rid of Kawanaki's motion sickness, because it makes no sense for him to have this. Because he doesn't have it in the manga. And I'm sure they probably need to have the guy stable for other missions. You can't have a ninja who basically travels by water, who basically can walk on water and suffers motion sickness. Yeah, I'm sure that the writer who probably wrote this episode probably thought this was a terrible idea. Let's write it in, basically, that Butan somehow knows medical ninjutsu. Something which the anime had never expressed before. Now here's the thing we know about this woman. She's Raga's daughter, and she's a member of the new Seven Swordsmen. And that's it. Not much else to know about. She's a pretty good fighter, and she does mention in her debut that Naruto killed her father. But here's the thing. She has never met Naruto. And she has not decided to fight Boruto for some reason when she had a big brawl when they're fighting Sadara, Boruto, and not Kawanaki. Kawanaki wasn't there. It was actually Iwambi who was there for this. And definitely not Mitsuke for some reason. I think Mitsuke was here for this one. But Iwambi was here too for this one. For some reason, she decided to fight Sadara for some reason. Which to me makes no freaking sense at all. Why would you have Butan fight the daughter of someone who's completely unrelated to? Like, who killed her father? Why not have him fight freaking Boruto in that arc? Yeah, I'm thinking back. like recently. Like, why the heck did she decide to fight Sadara and not Boruto? Because Baruto's father was the one who killed her father, not Sadara's father. Sasuke wasn't even freaking there. He was off with Orochimaru. But it's interesting these two work together because if you think about it, the last time she was on screen together while Boruto was there, these two never shared screen time before. And I gotta admit, this actually was a brilliant stroke of genius on the part of the writer. Like, of course, curing Kwanaki with motion sickness. And they talk about kill or be killed type situation. Kwan can understand it, and they move on to the next thing. Of course, they come across a giant civic ninja tool, and that's where that portion of the episode ends for them. And meanwhile, on Donner Island, we have Team 5 and Mitsuki and Sadara come with a plan to rescue the hostages and get an escape ship. So Team 5 go get the rescue ship, and Mitsuki and Sadara rescue the hostages. Seems pretty simple enough. And of course, we have some leader there who's boasting about how powerful he is. He seems like he's also a bit of a chunky guy too, because he's got a bit of a gut. Though Sadara was able, when she gets into a conversation with him, she ends up being pretty easily thanks to her Sharingan. Excuse me, I'm glad that became useful enough for her. And of course, thanks to taking out the guys there, and of course they get to the ship. Takes a bit to start it up because Dinky is having a bit of a trouble starting it up, trying to hotwire a freaking oil tanker. Yes, this is what this ship is. It's a giant oil tanker. This thing probably is too difficult for him to hotwire. So what does he do? Use electricity with his hands because, according to Dinky, he probably is the best person who can pilot the ship. Which, yeah, given the fact he's basically very good with technology, makes total sense. I appreciate the fact that I remembered he can do this. So, he eventually does start the ship even after the other powers basically try to board, but they fail thanks to Sadara, Kwanaki, and Mitsuki. Even Metal League get a chance basically against some fighting here. And to go off here. And then the episode ends with Kagura and the other two members who were there from the Seven Swordsmen about to have a conversation with another boat. Okay. Interesting to say the least. Looks like we get a little more of the fortress stuff next episode. In the case of Densa Island, I think we're officially done with the island. Yes, I think, but based on the preview I saw for the next episode, it seems that we're going to do a lot more with Mobile Fortress next episode. Like, probably the whole episode will be set there. And it looks like that Kagura is going to face off against the second son of the chief, which that's going to be interesting. Yep, hopefully the other two get a chance to do some fighting. I hope so. And hopefully Regazdo explains to Kwanaki what her history is with Boruto, because that will be interesting from his perspective. Because Kwanaki probably like, wait, is it just me, or is that everybody who I know here are ninjas tend to be sons of famous people? Like Boruto is the son of the Hokage. Her father was Raga, one of the members of Seven Swordsmen. Sadara's parents were part of the original Team 7. Meo Lee, obviously, is son of Rock Lee. The only people who are not famous people part of this mission is Iwambi and Denki. These two are the only ones on this mission who's not a son of a famous person. Or at least a known figure in the Naruto franchise. Rega isn't that big of a character in the Naruto franchise, but he is definitely who, apparently according to this anime, is definitely canon. Yeah, I think even Kishimoto made him canon too, despite the fact he originally appeared in the anime first. They made him canon later on in this series, which I thought that was interesting. Yes, a character who was not the first time. I think that I know the creator of Inuyasha did the same thing too, where they had an original character in that series, and despite the fact this character was not in the original manga, the creator loved her so much, she made her canon in the series. Kishimoto, I think, did it with a few characters in this series, where they put in the anime first, and then canon in the manga later on, which I do appreciate him doing that. In the case of Bleach, this was another really big one. Bleach, as far as I can tell, Kubo never did anything with that one, but in the case of Kishimoto, yeah, he did. He made several characters canon. Raga was one of them. He made him canon right away. Probably because he liked the arc. That's just my personal theory anyways. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular view. Stay tuned for tomorrow. As far as I can tell for tomorrow, I'll probably have at least one video due tomorrow. And if I get time to do it, it'll be a review of the newest episode of Attack on Titan. Yep. See you next video. Bye.